Why do so many video games feel like full-blown movies now? Well, because they kind of are. Or at least they can be. And while that mix doesn't always land, when it does, it can make for some incredible storytelling. These are sometimes referred to as movie games. And no one embodies that more than the big boss himself, Hideo Kojima. See, Kojima isn't just a game designer. He's a movie buff who's turned his obsession with film into gaming experiences. Metal Gear Solid 4 became famous, or rather infamous, for cutscenes that lasted way too long. Seriously, one of them was 71 minutes. In 2014, a mysterious demo dropped on the PlayStation Store titled PT, or Playable Teaser. It was a teaser for a new Silent Hill game with Norman Reedus, and fans still consider it one of the scariest game experiences ever. And while we never got that Silent Hill, Kojima did just recently showcase a new teaser for OD, which looks a lot like PT, and I'm here for it. But we did get Norman Reedus back in Death Stranding, alongside Mads Mikkelsen and Lea Seydoux, making the game feel more like a Hollywood blockbuster. Kojima's camera angles, editing, and pacing all come straight out of cinema, making his games feel more like movies you just happen to be playing. But Kojima wasn't alone. In the 2010s, games like Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls went all in on the interactive film concept. Motion-captured actors, branching storylines, and cutscenes that carried more weight than the actual gameplay. Detroit Become Human refined it even further with tons of possible endings, making it more like you're directing your own movie rather than playing a traditional game. We also had the Telltale games, The Walking Dead, The Wolf Among Us, both structured like a TV series you could binge, where your choices shaped the story. On the other hand, some games found a better balance between story and play. The Last of Us and its sequel tell a deeply emotional story, but the gameplay is so tight you never really feel like you're just sitting back and watching. They use cinematics to enhance the drama without sacrificing interactivity. You know, the thing that makes games. It's not just cutscenes either. Entire games are sort of shot like films. God of War 2018 and 2022 are presented as one continuous take. From the title screen to the credits, there are no visible cuts or loading screens. Although we all know what this is. It's a stylistic choice that mirrors movies like 1917 or Birdman, which were filmed and edited to feel like a single uninterrupted shot. Red Dead Redemption 2 literally gives you a cinematic camera mode, letting you ride into the sunset like you're in a western. And boy oh boy, is that last ride something. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is grounded in its medieval world and gritty realism, with dialogue and camera work that feels straight out of a historical drama. But it's also not afraid to mix in some humor and absurd exchanges that can feel closer to Monty Python than, Braveheart or something.
To the task! Matilda!
And even indies like What Remains of Edith Finch lean on cinematic framing. Each vignette plays like its own short film, pulling you into the story in creative, emotional ways. So video games aren't just borrowing from film anymore. They're speaking the same language. Sometimes that balance creates masterpieces. Other times it pushes the limits of our patience. But either way, the line between cinema and games has never been thinner. But hey, what about you? Do you enjoy these so-called movie games, or do you think they get in the way of the more traditional gameplay? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let us know which cinematic games have stood out as your favorites. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on How It Hits.